Yay!
Yay!
Good morning.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening to you all. Thank you and welcome into another episode of Fab Friday. This is episode 59, Friday, September 12th, and a beautiful day here in Palm Springs, California from the Colourwerx Dezign Haus. I think the temperature is around about 95 or something today, but no humidity. So we're very happy about that. We want to welcome everybody in who's watching us live today on the Colourwerx YouTube channel. Make sure that you subscribe to the channel just so you get notifications when we put up more Fab Fridays or more tutorials. Betsy Barker is checking in from Los Angeles. Good morning, Betsy. Thank you for joining us today. I hope everything is well. Oh, how's the puppy today? Well, shall we check? What's she doing? What is Coco up to?
Let's go find
Let's go find Coco Cam and see what you...
She's napping right now.
She's napping. There's Coco. She's listening intently.
There's her ears.
But she's a little upset because we had to stop playtime to go live.
She's on her way.
I said the word, and that was the bad word. Okay. Well, good morning, everybody. Welcome in. We're going to catch you up on all the Colourwerx news, and then we have a very short tutorial today on some tips and tricks to make snowballing blocks, or when you have to snowball corners to a block. easier and simpler and more effective and more accurate, if that makes sense. So where are we going first? Oh, first, we're going to the Create Whimsy blog. Okay, Carl, bring that card up. There it is. So I wanted to alert you all that I was interviewed by Create Whimsy. They're a very large blog site run by a very nice woman named Lynn. I was in the Artist Spotlight last week. So if you would like to learn more about Carl and mine's creative journey and how we got started in the quilting industry, it's a kind of an in-depth interview of all of our quilting adventures over the last 25 years. And you can go right there where the website says www.createwhimsy.com. And this is also bookmarked or hyperlinked on the front page of our website at Colourwerx.com. So if you're interested in kind of seeing new to Colourwerx, you want to find out more about us and what we're up to in the future, please check out the Create Whimsy website. I also have this beautiful Cafe color wave behind me that I just finished. You're probably wondering, like, what is all this color behind me? Well, this is the new February 2026 Cafe Collective fabrics coming out that I just finished for Free Spirit Fabrics. And I have this sample back here because I was talking about snowballed blocks in our tutorial today. So each one of these little blocks have been snowballed corners, basically, and we'll talk about that. And that's the Color Wave quilt from Color Wave, the Color Wave pattern at Colourwerx.com. I also want to thank you all for all of you lucky students who got into the Road to California workshops. There's a slide there, Carl, if you want to click it.
I'm going there.
And I want to thank you very much for signing up for my workshops. You sold out these 2 workshops within, I believe it was 24 hours. So again, Applique Stitch Lab remains a very popular workshop, as well Wonky and Curvaceous Cosmos at Road to California. If you didn't get in, put yourself on the wait list. I know the wait lists are a little long, but a lot of students actually get into the classes by the time January comes on because people's plans change and things like that go on.
Teddy, good morning. I'm in the control room here.
Oh,
nice to hear from you again. There
it's
you go.
Teddy.
It's Teddy.
Good morning, Teddy. How nice to see you. I didn't know Carl was going to switch over to himself. Oh, my goodness.
I've got my own camera.
I know. Oh, well, good morning. Okay. And then the other news we have a sneak peek of our Kaleidoscope fabric collection, which will be showing to shops very soon. So if Carl brings up that card.
Oh, you want to do that before the new patterns?
Yeah.
Okay. I've got a different sequence.
I see. I came out of sequence. Yes. Oh, sorry. Yeah, we're still rusty from being off a year of doing Fab Friday. Can you tell? So yeah, these are the Kaleidoscope butterfly fabrics coming out with Benetex Fabrics very soon.
Please.
They won't be available. Now I'm going to be very honest. They won't be available to consumers, meaning you guys, until next year sometime around April and May. That's how long and drawn out this process is. So these will be available for shops to order starting probably in November, December. And we'll let you all know that so you can go bother your favorite shop and tell them to go order our collection for their shop. But I just wanted to give you a sneak peek of that. Then we can go over to the new patterns because these are very exciting. We have 2 new patterns coming out in October, around about October 15th. The first one is called Color Twist. And this is a really fun paper piece, super easy paper piece pattern. In fact, I think this is up on the website right now as a pre-order. So I would consider that kind of a beginner's paper pieced pattern. And then the other pattern coming out October 15th is called Mirage. And this is a very easy pattern to do piecing wise. It's not paper piece, but it's just precision piecing. But it's a great also kind of pattern to use if you're into doing values of color, like light, medium, and dark values, things like that, and you want to play with values of certain colors, as you see here on the screen. It's a great quilt to do that with, and super easy to piece. And that will come in October 15th. That'll be available, Mirage. I think there's going to be 2 or 3 different sizes in that quilt pattern as well. And then Color Twist pattern will have the lap quilt that you saw there on the screen, plus a table runner and some other options available in the pattern. So those patterns are coming out October 15th. Those are some of our new patterns that are coming out. And with that, let's see, where are we going to go? Coco Cam? What's she up to now?
Oh,
Oh,
licking her paws again.
licking paws.
Coco.
Yes, Coco.
Oh, Coco.
No.
What? No, she's not
She's
interested.
being a typical Chihuahua this morning because
Yeah.
she just doesn't want anything to do with her parents who are doing something else and not fawning
Playing
after
with
her.
Yes.
So, all right. And then the other bit of news we have as we move on to our tutorial is I wanted to show you some other of our most popular Colourwerx patterns that have appeared in Fabric Collections lookbooks. And what are lookbooks? Well, lookbooks are basically the catalogs that fabric companies put out when they go sell the fabric, the new collections, to the quilt shops. And so a lot of times they'll ask us pattern designers to take our most popular patterns or new patterns coming out and actually render or color up in our software programs these using these new fabrics so that shops can see the new fabrics with a fresh pattern or a fresh look to a new pattern and things like that. So if we roll the video, and Carl has to, did you unmute me?
I did unmute
I
you.
am unmuted. There you can see what's rolling on your screen. These are just some renderings that we did for Hoffman Fabrics. Beautiful batiks coming out. These fabrics are going to be coming out next year. Color kites, we did that for Hoffman batiks as well. And you can just see these kind of roll along. I put these up on Instagram the other day too. Color Twist, that's the new pattern coming out. Then we did some work. I love this collection for Jacqueline Dijon for Anthology Batiks. There is our popular color wave pattern again in that beautiful kind of luscious claret. And then we also did some work for Michael Miller with their Stargazer Basics, which is a cotton print basics with stars in it. You saw Color Kites, Mod Box, and also Labyrinth there, which Carl designed, Labyrinth. So that's just some of the interesting things we also do. I thought it would be fun to share that with you as well and to give you a kind of a different look to some of our patterns. A lot of times you only see what we actually make the pattern in, but there are so many other opportunities when we can use the software now and get the image, the images of the fabrics coming out that won't be available for another 6 months, but we can render or color in our patterns so that you can see them in different colorways and different options and things of that sort. So with that, if nobody, is anybody else checking in? Let's see.
Let me go down.
I don't think so.
No. There we go. Quiet morning.
All right. So let's start with our little tutorial. I'm going to head over to the overhead for a minute. And we're going to talk about snowballing blocks and tips and tricks. This is a short little tutorial, but it's a good tutorial. So a lot of times, if you don't know what snowballing means, a lot of times it's either you're taking a square and you're going to put a smaller square in a corner. You're going to draw a diagonal line and you're going to sew on that diagonal line. Now I've drawn this diagonal line with a Sharpie. And so, I'm sure I'll get a comment or two like, you would never use that dark of a pen. No, you wouldn't. You would use
That's just for the camera.
That's for the camera, so the camera can pick it out and you guys can see what I'm talking about. So once you sew on that line, you would then usually flip it over and you get this look, which is what you see in the color wave quilt behind me there.
Do you want me to go?
Yes, if Carl goes back to one of the master shots. So all of those blocks that you see in the color wave quilt are all snowballed. They're snowballed in opposite corners, in two opposite corners. So here I'm going to roll a video really quickly and give you some tips and tricks on sewing on that line, because what happens is, if we're back on the overhead.
Nope.
So what I'm going to do is actually sew on this line, but I'm not going to sew directly on the line. What I'm going to do, and this is my tip, is I actually like to sew a little to the right side of this line or on the top of the line. And when I say a little, it's like a hair or a thread above the line. And why do I do that? Well, because when I get done sewing this fabric E square on, I'm going to flip the tip of this square over and it should meet exactly the outer tip of the square over here. If I sew directly on the line, that thread in there on the line will take up seam allowance space and will not allow the tip of this square to flip over and meet the outer tip exactly. So by sewing just above the line, and I mean a hair above it, I am able to get that tip to flip over and meet exactly the outer edge. So on most occasions when you do snowballed corners like this, you're told to, of course, stitch on the line and then trim away everything 1/4 inch beyond that line. I'm going to caution you not to do that first. What I want you to do first is actually take this over to your ironing board like I am here, flip the corner of the fabric over to meet the outer edge of your square, just like so. When you can meet the outer edge of your square here, give it a press down, and then we'll head back to the cutting board. And we're actually going to head back over here to the overhead. So what I'm saying there is by sewing directly either to the side of the line, above the line, if it goes into your machine like this and you're sewing above the line a hair, by not, clipping away this before you press, you're giving yourself an area of where you need to press this over to so that your flip out, if you will always match the corner. Now, eventually, as I'm going to do now, you're going to want to trim this away. But that's why I caution you in the video, don't do the trimming until you're actually ensured that when you flip the corner of this square out to create the triangle look or the snowballed corner look, that you're actually matching what was left there, what is left here, press it, and then you have to go back and trim away, leaving a 1/4 inch seam allowance because you want to reduce that fabric bulk. But if you trim this away first, then you're not going to have any area to match or gauge where you're supposed to flip this out. And a lot of times what happens with snowball corners and flying geese units, which I'll show you in a minute, is that if you don't have this area to match when you flip the tip out, your snowballed block either shrinks in size or it enlarges in size. So you always want to have this area to flip out towards to match and then trim it away, and you've got your beautiful snowballed corner. Now, the other thing that you use snowballed blocks for, or snowballing for as I call it, is for flying geese units, of course. You can do this method where you actually put 2 squares on either side of a rectangle. And you can see here I've already trimmed away. But again, the same tip applies. You want to make sure that you're drawing your line. This is dark for the camera, by the way. I would never draw my line that dark. And you're going to sew just a hair above that line. And why is that? Because when you flip the fabric over too, the fabric is taking up seam allowance there. The thread is taking up seam allowance there. And so by sewing just a hair above, you're allowing for all that bulk in the seam there. And you now can match the tip as it flips out over to where the existing corner was. And once that happens, you just trim that away again and you're ready to go. So those are my tips on snowballed corners. And of course, if you like doing snowballed corners or you want an easy quilt, the Colourwerx quilt is a beautiful pattern to test that out on. And where we're going is I'm making my way back. Coco Cam.
She's still upset with you.
She's very upset. She hasn't had breakfast yet. And, when the Chowini hasn't had breakfast yet, she gets a little persnickety about it. And we didn't have a lot of playtime this morning because we were going live. So, the child is a bit upset right now.
Betsy said that was a great tip.
Why, thank you, Betsy. Yes, it is. And so it works every time. And it also gives you that area of where to flip everything out too. So with that, I don't know, Carl, do you have any more news?
No more news. Is there any questions?
I don't know. I'm looking at the monitor. Carl set me up with this Boffo huge monitor to the side of me. I mean, I'm not going to show it to you right now, but it's this huge monitor that my eyes tend to bug out on because it's just too big. It's like a 24-inch monitor here. And I'm looking at it this close. So to see if any comments come up.
It didn't have to be that close. You put it that close.
I know, well, because I couldn't see it across the room. So, Anyway, well, we'll thank you very much. And we have that was just a short little Fab Friday check-in with you today. We're going to be back next month again at the same time, probably middle of the month, somewhere in there for October. We're going to have much more news next month, probably about our kaleidoscope fabrics, exactly what time they're coming out, and also about the new patterns that'll be out by that point, which is Color Twist and Mirage. The other exciting news is you might want to check, I'm not sure when this issue is coming out, Quilt Maker Winter 2026 issue. I think it's probably going to be out in October, but we're in the Quilt Maker Winter 2026 issue. So if you subscribe to Quilt Maker magazine, or you can get a copy of Quilt Maker magazine, we'll be in there. But I'm sure we'll have news.
I'm sure we'll have photos.
And photos next month.
Yes.
I know it's coming out soon because the quilt was delivered about a month ago. So,
yes.
And I'm working on another quilt in October, in addition to everything else, for another magazine that will be out in spring 2026. So we've been...
As well as Zooming.
As
everywhere.
Well as Zooming, as well as, going and teaching and getting ready for road and getting the patterns ready. So we thank you so much for joining us today on our Fab Friday program. My apologies, there for Coco being...
Well, Coco...
being persnickety.
No, she's just flicking her ears.
No, she just doesn't want to.
No, just want to know this morning.
No. It's Chiweenie. What can I say? That's Chihuahua and Dachshund mixed, and the child goes through mood swings. What can I say?
She's a teenager now.
Yeah, she is. Yeah. She's 3 years old now. So anyway, thank you so much. Go out, have a great day. Go out and hug somebody. Considering the news in the country, I want to let everybody know that. Go out and share some love with somebody that might need some. And you know what? Happy Colourwerx quilting always, everybody. Thank you for joining us, and we'll see you next month.